Dishonored in 5 minutes. Everything you need to know about the story so far. Dunwall, capital city of the Empire of the Isles, an industrial city, a city founded on the principles of technology and mysticism alike, a city overrun by rats, a corrupt government, and a devastating plague. All in all, a pretty terrible place to live, but a pretty awesome place to set a video game. Enter Corvo Atano.
The man of the hour is here.
Longtime companion and royal protector to Jessamine Caldwin, the Empress of Dunwall. He's been off searching for a cure to the plague that's turning the city's residents into bloodthirsty weepers, and manages to arrive just in time to witness the murder of the Empress at the hands of the magic assassins led by a dude named Dowd. The assassins also kidnap the Empress's daughter, Emily. Dunwall spymaster Hiram Burrows frames Corvo for the Empress's murder and locks him up in prison while Burrows rises to power as Dunwall's new Lord Regent. Corvo is set to be executed, but a band of resistance fighters called the Loyalists manage to bust him out. He meets up with Samuel, a man whose sole purpose seems to be piloting a boat. Samuel takes him to the Hound Pit's pub, where he meets Admiral Havelock, the leader of the Loyalists.
I'm Admiral Havelock, a true servant of the Empire, like you.
Havelock's got a plan. He and his pal Trevor Pendleton want to help Corvo overthrow the Lord Regent and return Princess Emily to the throne. But to get to him, Corvo has to take out several of the Lord Regent's collaborators. The Loyalists also give him a really creepy mask. Corvo agrees to help the cause and takes up residence in the pub. That night, Corvo is transported to the Void, a dream world where he meets the Outsider. Unbeknownst to Corvo, the Outsider is over 4,000 years old and is worshipped by many in Dunwall as a god and a source of magic in the everyday world. He brands Corvo with his mark and gives him several new abilities that will eventually help him murder a ton of people. The first on Corvo's hit list is High Overseer Thaddeus Campbell. Campbell not only serves as the leader of the city's religious militant faction, but he also knows the whereabouts of Princess Emily. Corvo heads into town and manages to free Teague Martin.
I know who you are and what you're here to do.
Eventually making his way to Campbell. He brands him as a heretic, thus ending his illustrious career. As luck would have it, Martin knows that Emily is being held in a brothel called
The Golden Cat, of all places.
by Custis and Morgan Pendleton, who it just so happens are next on Corvo's list. He infiltrates the Golden Cat and escapes with Emily. Corvo makes a deal with the notorious gangster Slackjaw, who agrees to handle the Pendleton twins.
Then they're gonna see life from a different angle.
Callista takes Emily under her wing and begins her training to become the next Empress of Dunwall, while Corvo is sent to capture Anton Sokolov, the genius behind Dunwall's most impressive technological advancements. Sokolov discloses that one of the Boyle sisters, 3 aristocratic socialites, is both Burrows' mistress and the money behind his rise to power. He just isn't sure which sister. This information comes just in time for Corvo to attend a masquerade thrown by the Boyles, where Corvo must deduce and eliminate the sister funding the Lord Regent. While in attendance, Corvo meets Lord Brisby, whose undying love for Waverly Boyle acts as the perfect excuse for her disappearance. Finally, the time has come for Corvo to exact revenge on the Lord Regent himself. During his return to Dunwall Tower, Corvo learns that not only is the Lord Regent responsible for hiring Dowd and his band of assassins to kill the Empress, but also brought in the Rat Plague in an attempt to rid the city of the poor and impoverished. But like all good villains, the Lord Regent has recorded a confession of his crimes, and Corvo broadcasts it to the entire population of Dunwall.
I am not at fault. My poverty eradication plan was meant to bring prosperity to the city.
Resulting in Hiram Burrows' immediate arrest. Just when the celebratory drinks are being poured, things take a turn for the worst. Turns out, the Loyalists don't trust Corvo much, despite the fact that he's been running around doing their dirty work. Havelock, recently named the new Lord Regent, fears that Corvo will influence Emily's rule in his favor, so he has Samuel poison him. Fortunately, Samuel isn't an altogether terrible guy and only gives Corvo half the dose and sets him adrift. Unfortunately, this lands Corvo squarely in the hands of Dowd. Dowd is not a nice guy. Known as the Knife of Dunwall, Dowd has spent years building up his reputation as a ruthless assassin.
I recognize those marks on your hand.
He also carries the mark of the Outsider, but has fallen out of his favor. While Corvo has been gallivanting around Dunwall, Dowd has been dealing with the betrayal of his most trusted ally, and has been on a mission of his own through the Void and back to save Princess Emily from Delilah Copperspoon, leader of the Brigmore Witches' Coven. Dowd's plan is to sell Corvo back to Havelock, but Corvo quickly escapes, sparing Dowd's life. When Corvo returns to the Hound Pit's pub, Emily has been kidnapped, again, and many of the Loyalists have been killed by Havelock. After rescuing Piero and Sokolov, Corvo buries the hatchet with Samuel, and the two cruise out to King Sparrow Island to confront Lord Regent Havelock. Havelock is certain of his victory when Corvo arrives, but that doesn't stop him from poisoning Pendleton and Martin anyway. Corvo discovers Havelock's journal, and we learn that Emily is probably Corvo's daughter. There's also this. Corvo subdues Havelock and reunites with Emily, who takes her rightful place on the throne as Empress with Corvo at her side. The Outsider explains that Emily would go on to cure the Rat Plague and usher in an era of prosperity for the people of Dunwall, earning her the title Emily the Wise. Well, at least for 15 years or so, when the events of Dishonored 2 unfold. If you love Dishonored as much as we do, Check out our Let's Play of Dishonored 2 with creative director Harvey Smith. And for all things Dishonored, stay tuned to IGN.